She has some excellent grounds for it. We even had tried to get the UK judgment in to dismiss his case because he already had his share.
That's insane. That would be a gross violation of U.S. law, a complete crazy precedent, which has never happened before anywhere else in the United States. For Elaine to even posit that is fucking nuts.
I missed that bit. What did she say?
She said they tried to get in. So we have an issue called claim preclusion.
Yep.
So when you've litigated a claim already, you can't litigate it again.
Correct,
So,
yeah, but he didn't litigate this claim anywhere.
But she just said that they tried to have it brought in to stop the claim completely.
Yeah, and Judge A turned around and said, well, that was a different, completely different case that had nothing to do with this. So,
and she thinks this is a good grounds for appeal. Now, that one, that specific ground, get the fuck out of there. You will be blown out if you try to say, yeah, we need to take a non-applicable case from a different country and import it to America. That would blow out everything. I mean, that'd be huge, because guess what you'd start doing? You would start suing people in other countries and then bringing the claims to the United States. I would sue people. I'll do the same. I would sue people in Haiti where, I have family that can just bribe a judge, come to a ruling and then pass it over to the United States, right?
Yeah, and I agree with it. The ruling shouldn't pass. However, I do think they should have been able to bring part of the judgment in, because part of the judgment does support their case. Now, again, Johnny won, and I'm glad that Johnny won. It's massive for societal impacts about men being victims and the fact that victims can lie too. But Judge Nicol, whether he was biased or not, which I think he was biased, did say that 11 or 12 of her accounts of abuse he found to be fully true. Now, that part of the judgment fully supports Amber Heard's claim that Johnny was the abuser. Therefore, in theory, should have been able to at least be admitted in evidence.
One more time on the last one. What do you think should be admitted in evidence specifically, Jordy?
So specifically the fact that the judge in the UK found 11 or 12 incidences of abuse of Johnny against Amber to be true and for Amber to be credible.
Do you think that should be admissible?
I think they should have been able to use that, yes, because it is by a judge.
How should they be able to admit it?
So, I mean, the UK trial was mentioned often enough that if they were allowed to mention it, then they should have been allowed to bring in things from it. Now, the overall judgment, no.
Okay, you're saying don't bring in the context, but allow them to mention at the trial, but then are you allowing to fully rebut the fact that law is inapplicable and doesn't apply here?
Yes,
and there's case precedent for that. So we're gonna go on. We're gonna go back and forth about how in court, in front of the jury, about how they can talk about it, but how UK laws don't apply in the United States. We're going to explain to them fully how they have a different system. We're going to explain fully your different burdens of proof. We're going to explain fully your different evidentiary system. We're going to explain fully the way that you guys do things and every nuance that's different in the UK and the United States. We're going to explain all of that.
Correct, because I think the jury, it would make a different. I think it would have. Now, again, I'm on Team Johnny's side here.
I know you are, but
I think it would have made a difference for Amber's team, for the jury to hear that in the judge's opinion in the UK, whether laws are different or not, the judge's opinion was that Amber was telling the truth about 11 or 12 of those incidents of abuse. Now, if a judge of any stature in a Western country was to have that opinion...
Hold on, no. I'll allow it if the judge will come testify in person and he can be cross-examined under oath in the United States. I'll allow that.
I mean, he'd probably agree to a deposition, but I doubt he'd go and testify.
Well, then he shouldn't be allowed. Then I'm sorry, he should not be allowed, because he needs to be under the rigors of our system, and he needs to get under there and cross-examination. All that shit, that conspiracy chart, which I'm not even pulling up right now, all that shit, he needs to be subject to deposition on that. Subject to cross-examination on that. Not these shitty-ass depositions. I mean, to me, I mean that needs to be brought the full context. If you're going to allow it, you got to allow everything. No, it's not just a tip. We're not playing just a tip.
And I agree with you on that.
And by the way, Jordy, the trial this was a 6-week trial. You bring in the UK stuff. It's almost a 10-week trial. I mean, we've got another 4 weeks just doing that back and forth, bringing in experts, bringing in legal scholars, talking about how UK and US are different. You want to do that? That's fine. But it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to get pretty crazy.
But I don't see. I would agree that that could happen, but I don't think it would because, like I said, you're not bringing in the judgment itself, so you don't need to explain UK law. You're bringing in a section of the judgment where
you're bringing in a judgment, and people are going to give that weight. They're going to say we think because a judge said this, well, legally this must be true. People give a huge weight to judges in other decisions, especially the UK, because they're going to think, okay, UK is kind of like the US, right? We came from them, right? So
well, yeah, because they would. Most people don't understand the differences between the legal system. So I get
exactly,
the
Jordy. The average intelligence they train us this in law school.
That's what I forget is the average intelligence.
Intelligence. They tell us it used to be 6th grade. They tell us we're speaking to 3rd graders.
Yeah.
3rd graders. You're an intelligent guy, Jordy, and I get it. We're having an intelligent conversation in between two people who are smart people. We can talk about the differences. But we're talking about people with the intelligence of 3rd graders. We cannot have them confused. They get easily confused. So I get your point. I see what you're saying. And you know what? I appreciate that you brought it because I've never had anybody bring that point. So I do appreciate that, Jordy.
I mean, someone's got to play devil's advocate every now and again.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So guys hating on Jordy, guys, listen, I appreciate him bringing that because I needed that. I need somebody to like challenge me and bring it up. And look, I don't think America is the end all be all, but there's a reason why you bring stuff in other countries, right? I think the case against the Sun was appropriate in the UK. And if you guys don't like the Sun case, change your system, right? That's not my job.
I mean,
American law.
See, I don't think there's anything wrong with our system. It's our judges that are shit over here.
Well,
I mean, the fact that it's a whole different conversation. But
so how do you do that? I have no clue, right? I have no clue how you fix your judges. We have the problem where some of our judges are elected, and people think that's a bad system, right?
I mean, that is a bad system because that's all political.
But there's accountability in an election. So I mean, if you fuck up, you're accountable, right? Versus if you're appointed for life, you're kind of immune from criticism, right? So
you're not, because you can be debenched, can't you? So you can be stripped of being a judge, can't you?
Yes, you can be stripped of being a judge. Now in the US, it's rare. I'm not saying that's not something that happens often, but it can happen.
Right, yeah,
right. It can happen.